time. I hope everybody's having a wonderful weekend so far. I was going to wait until Sunday when I have this case to go over that we need everybody's help on, but I came across this story and just wanted to go over it. Um, so, this is about the chilling, gruesome murders of the Dardeen family. This crime was considered too brutal and gruesome to be reported on daytime TV. The Dardeen family met a truly disturbing end in their small town of Illinois in 1987. More than a decade later, a serial killer sitting on death row in Texas would claim he committed the crimes along with more than 70 other slayings. Yet, the truth of the Dardeens' final moments remains as uncertain today as it was on the evening of November 18th, 1987, when police first discovered their brutalized bodies. The police visited the trailer because Russell Keith Dardeen, then 29 years old, hadn't shown up for his job as a water treatment plant operator at the nearby Rend Lake Water Conservancy District. Reportedly, Keith he he preferred to go by his middle name, was an extremely reliable worker. When he neither appeared for work nor called in to report his absence, his supervisor placed calls to both of Keith's parents. He was not the type of person to not show up or not call, so that became an alarm for them. Um, and his parents, they said that they haven't seen him. So by the evening, the police went to the Dardeen family home to investigate, where they met Don Dardeen, Keith's father, who had brought keys to the trailer. What they found inside was a crime scene so violent and gruesome that it would haunt everyone involved for years to come. Eileen Dardeen and her 3-year-old son, Peter, had been beaten to death with a baseball bat that had been a birthday present to Peter from his father earlier that year. To make matters worse, Elaine had been pregnant with the couple's second child, a daughter, and the beating caused her to go into labor. The killer or killers had shown no mercy, however, and the newborn child was beaten to death as well. Elaine was bound with duct tape and gagged, and all three were tucked into bed together. The area had even been cleaned up, indicating that the killer or killers had been in no hurry to vacate the crime scene. There were initial suspicions that Keith Dardeen had brutally murdered his own family. Everyone suspected the husband because he was not found there. But those rumors were quickly laid to rest when his body was found the following day, lying in a nearby field. He had been shot 3 times and his penis was cut off. Police found Keith's car parked outside the police station in the nearby town of Benton, some 11 miles from the Dardeen home. Blood on the interior indicated that it was the likely site of Keith Dardeen's murder. This was such a brutal crime, and it would have been enough to shock the whole community. But the fact was that the Dardeens were not the first victims in the area. Over the past 2 years, Jefferson County had been home to 15 homicides, including one particularly grim case in which a teenager living in Mount Vernon killed his parents and 3 siblings. You guys, this is going to be a whole series. I'm going to go into all of those, but I am going to be filming these ones. While the spate of murders seemed unrelated, it was enough to drive locals into an intense state of fear. During the days and weeks following the discovery of the Dardeen family murders, locals took to openly carrying shotguns, and the coroner in nearby Franklin County was quoted that locals were so afraid to let strangers into their homes that if he ran out of gas on a country road, he wouldn't even bother knocking on the door and would instead simply walk to the highway, and hitch a ride. Everybody was scared. There was a murderer on the loose, and this murderer on the loose had no heart. In spite of a massive investigation involving 30 detectives dedicating full time work to the case and interviewing more than 100 people, the police were not able to determine a motive for the killings, let alone find a likely suspect. As time passed and the case grew colder and colder, Joanne Dardeen, Keith's mother, continued to pressure authorities to try to solve the murders of her son and his family. She gathered more than 3,000 signatures, and she tried to get on the Oprah Winfrey show to do a segment on the murders, but it was too graphic for daytime television. So initially, America's Most Wanted also passed on the case. You guys, this is horrible that two daytime shows did not want to take on this case because it was so brutal. A newborn that was delivered because she went into labor while she was being was beaten. The brother was beat to death. The father, I just so later on, it was in 1998, America's Most Wanted. They ended up picking up the case and they did a segment on it. Um, but it didn't produce any leads. It wasn't until the year 2000 that new light was thrown upon the brutal slaying in the Dardeen family. That year, a serial killer named Tommy Lynn Sells, who had been arrested after cutting the throats of two girls near Del Rio, Texas, began confessing to other murders that he claimed he had committed over the years while riding the rails and working at traveling carnivals. One of the killings that Sells claims responsibility for was the murder of the Dardeen family. According to Sells, he met Keith at a truck stop or maybe a pool hall, and Keith invited him home to dinner, where then Keith propositioned Sells to engage in a threesome with him and Elaine. Or maybe not. Maybe Sells just saw the for sale sign on the Dardeens trailer and with it an opportunity. Part of the problem with the confession of Tommy Lynn Sells is that he didn't always stick to his own story, let alone the particulars of the case. When Sells first confessed in 2000, Joanne Dardeen was convinced of his guilt. As the years went by, however, her conviction and it waned, and by the time Sells was executed in 2014, her doubts were significant. Tommy deserved to die for what he did, but I wanted him to stay alive until I know positively that he didn't do it. She told the Association Press shortly after his execution. Though Sells confessed to more than 70 murders at the time of his execution, authorities were only convinced of his guilt in 22 of these killings. The brutal slaying of the Dardeen family wasn't one of them. And to this day, the chilling Illinois murder case officially remains unsolved. So this guy got executed, and the family still has not got justice. Um, a lot of people haven't heard this case because it is from the 80s, and it's just, a cold case. So if you guys can share this video, they were a very close family, very close knit. It was a little town. Everybody knew each other. Somebody has to know something. Um, Before I wrote this little research and like it was really quick. I didn't get any numbers. I will do that now because if anyone has any information, then they need to call. Um, this is a horrible, horrible case. And you know it's something like when Oprah doesn't even take it or America's Most Wanted at first. Hold on, you guys. I'm getting the number and then I'm going to end this video. There's more into the story as well. I just did it really fast, you guys. Like I said, I wanted to get this case out. It's been way too long. Like there's a lot into Tommy Sells background, which I'm gonna make a series of. So first, I will start with Tommy Sells, his background. It was not a good background. He was molested at 8 years old. He began drinking at 7 years old. He committed horrible crimes. None of what he went through gives him any kind of pass. Um, Hold on. Yes, it was horrific. Like I said, I am gonna go through all of this more. It's gonna be a longer. Uh, I'm gonna go over all of the murders that happened in that town. Um, Hold on, that is so crazy. Um, I'm just trying to get the right numbers to put on here before I get off. I will just put them in the description box when I am done with this. But you guys, please, if you know anything, if you saw anything, yes, Christine. Well, some of them aren't, but some of them are from Tommy Sells. Um, you know, who said that he did this to this family, but he ended up taking that back. He only confessed to about 22 murders, and the other murders that took part in this community were some were connected, but this one, like this boy, he murdered his siblings and his parents, and that was in the same town. So I wouldn't say this town was exactly safe, but they were very close knit. Everybody knew each other. So somebody had to have seen something. Maybe they were scared to say something because of all the murders that were taking place. Um, but yeah, that's the story I have for you guys today. Thank you guys for watching. Please share. Please give this video a thumbs up. I will link the numbers to contact um, the police department and the FBI in the description box below. I hope everybody has a safe, great weekend. Remember, be kind. There's so much cruel stuff going on in our world. It doesn't pay to be kind. You never know what someone's going through. Um, so, yeah, I will see you guys later. I am out.